This is a topic that I've been wanting to discuss for quite some time. And with us today is Mike Davis. He's lives here in Wichita Falls, and he works for the railroads. And today we are going to talk about one of the largest industries in the United States that nobody knows anything about, which is the rail transportation system in the United States. Now, it is impossible to appreciate how important it is as a way to get goods from one point to another cheaply and efficiently across the country. The railroad has been an important part of the transportation sector for 100 and probably 175 years or so by now.
Give or take.
And my grandfather worked for the railroad a long time ago with a completely different equipment situation than we've got right now. But I don't know anything about it either because he wasn't a talker. So what I decided we would do is we would ask Mike to come on and share the information that he has access to with us and hopefully educate you guys a little bit about this fascinating piece of the American economy, the rail transportation system. Mike, thank you for being here.
It's great to be here.
Appreciate your time.
Sure.
Now, let's see how we can best organize. I'll tell you what let's do. Let's start talking about the equipment that the railroads utilize, because that's the most obvious thing that everybody sees is the trains rolling down the tracks. Now, as I understand it, the rail industry is divided into two separate sections. And the first section is the part that operates the trains themselves. And the second section is the part that operates the tracks upon which the trains run. So the tracks are known as the way. Right?
Yes, right.
And they've got their own union, the Brotherhood of the Way, and
right. There's actually a couple different unions, but
right.
Yes, correct.
So that functions as a completely separate division of the industry. Right?
So right, basically, it's I guess it'd be similar to like how a military base runs. You have people that do their particular jobs, and we're all somewhat separated, but work together. We have our rail maintenance guys. They come out and take care of ties and rail and switches and stuff like that. Then we have our signal guys. They come out and they make sure all the signals and the crossings are working properly. Mm-hmm. Again, every one of them with a separate union. Even on our side of the TY&E, the transportation industry, the guys that actually operate the trains, we have two separate unions as well.
Right.
So, and doesn't really necessarily mean you have to be any part of one or the other. You just have to pick one.
Right.
So.
Yeah, the rail industry's been unionized for a long time, hasn't it?
It has, and I don't know exactly when they started it, but I've been out there 19 years, and of course they've been.
Oh, it's been back
way
than 100
back.
years ago, long time ago. And as far as I know, they operate without a strike most of the time, don't they?
Right. I think a strike. It's the government really doesn't want us to strike.
Of course not.
It would be detrimental to the economy.
Oh, you can't have it.
Right.
So everybody tries to get along.
Typically, if it gets to the point where we can't come up with an agreement that both parties agree to, then usually the government steps in and helps us out.
Right. Well, it tells you what to do.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you've got rail, you've got signal, and you've got switches.
Track maintenance.
Track maintenance is right. All right. Track maintenance. And, those of us that pay attention to these things will see piles of ties laying along the side of the road from time to time. Mm-hmm. So there are piles of ties laying, and those are obviously either one of two things. They're piles of new ties that are going to be installed, or piles of old ties that have been removed.
Right.
How do they move that? How do they do that? What is the physical process?
They have these big machines, and of course I'm not on the maintenance side, so I'm going to generalize it as best I can. But they have these big machines that they bring in and they dig it out, and the machine actually just moves the tie out, and then the next machine moves one in, and then the next machine buries them back up, moves the ballast back in.
So you got three different machines operating.
There's a whole line of machines. I mean, and these things are, just the amount of hydraulics and everything. I mean, there's
I can't
incredible
imagine.
machines.
I can't imagine. How often do they change that out?
It just depends. I mean,
Depends on the
wear and tear.
maintenance.
Yeah, wear and tear. You know,
Right.
and I mean, they've done it several times since I've been around.
So they will inspect all of this stuff on a regular
Daily.
basis.
Daily.
Daily.
Yes.
Inspect it daily, and because you can't have this kind of stuff failing.
Right.
And then they will call for a replacement session, and we use a different track for a while, I guess.
Right. Well, what they do is they have a guy that goes out there and he rides. You've seen that every once in a while you'll see just a regular truck on the rail.
Right.
Just driving down the rail. Well, he's got a machine on his truck that's testing that rail. And so he'll test the entire rail daily, and if there's a spot that seems bad or something's wrong, maybe slight sinkhole or maybe the rail's bending a little bit,
Right.
warping out, they'll put speed restrictions.
Join us again this week on Starting Strength Radio, where we talk to our friend Mike Davis about the railroad industry in the United States. Everybody sees them. They're ubiquitous, railroads all over the place, and you don't know anything about them at all, do you? We're going to teach you this time on Starting Strength.